Okay, next video, head on the Gemini. Well thought out system. Actually, let's talk about all the plumbing. But the head itself, it's just a standard dry flush switch on that, and just pump away. Take that thing up, and you get all the valves to the holding tank. Okay, right down there is the overboard, the on-off main outlet. Okay. Right next to it over there, these things have little labels on them and whatever. You see the handle is labeled there. Whoops. On that small through hull, that is your inbound water inbound water for flushing. Okay. And also, strangely, has another line coming down to it right there. It comes down to that thing. So it's got it's got a line that comes into it there, and it's got a line that comes into it there. Actually, I think this one is the flush water that goes into the pump. Nope, take that back. This one down there goes from there, and it goes into the bottom of the, right up there, right? So when you got open to C on there, okay, it's just letting water into the head to flush the head. When you flip the valve the other way, it connects to this line, okay, and this line goes back to, where is it? Yeah, okay, it's going to connect to the sink. So the sink, the outlet of the sink is plumbed to right there. And that has a seacock. It's above the water line, but it has a seacock. Okay, water from the sink will come in the end there and drain out when it's in the position it's in right now. Flip the position, and it guides the sink outlet the other way, and it will go back down to the inlet of the head. Why would you want the sink water to go into the head pump? Simple, two reasons. Number one, if you're away from the boat, you don't want to leave salt water on it. Just put fresh water into your sink, flip those two valves, and pump away, and you will have fresh water in the bowl and it won't stink when you get back. Number two, winterizing. Dead easy to winterize. Just pour the I'd say a couple of quarts of antifreeze in there, and flick both seacocks, the one down there, okay, and the one down there, and you will be pumping your antifreeze up through the head, and you can pump enough that you just need enough to get the pump itself, all the fresh water out of the lines, and that the pump has no seawater or fresh water in it. So, okay, number two. The outlets. So the outlet from the head comes right down here. And it's really obvious. You can just see it. It comes, video, I don't know, but it comes up there, up this way. And it comes up there. Okay. Now, there's a selector switch on top of that. That's a Y valve. And there's a selector switch on the top of it. Let me see if I can get in there. There it is. Okay. Right now, it is going up, and it points that, it goes up, points that direction, goes around that line. Just see if you follow it. It goes up to the holding tank. Where is the holding tank? The holding tank is above the water line, right in behind the head, right there. Okay, and you can access it. There's to see it. If you open up the big locker on the port bow, up in the port bow, you can look at it. There's a plexiglass partition there, and you can see the holding tank, and you can tell. It's kind of a little hard in the light, but you can see what level of fill the holding tank is. Okay, so if that's that way, this thing is set right now to pump to the holding tank. So, what would you do if you, and the holding tank, of course, you can pump it. There's an outlet on the on the hull itself, on the port bow, right? And you hook that up to a standard pump out and pump it. Number two, this valve. Okay, so this valve, okay, so there's two Y valves. Okay, so this valve has a selector switch. So the bottom of this goes down. There it is, goes down there and goes to the outlet. Okay, so this can be in one of two positions. It can be pointed, okay, there's the top of it, is right now pointed over that way towards the other Y valve. Okay, so what that is doing is that's making a connection from here to here. But what's that doing? Nothing. So the other side of that hooks to the outlet of the holding tank. So if I pulled this thing and I reversed that and I pointed that over the other direction towards the holding tank, it's actually simple when you figure it out. If that points towards the holding tank, you're connecting the holding tank outlet to the through hull. So it gravity drains. So if you're out and you're in the U.S. and you're off past your 3 miles and you're in discharge zone, you can dump your holding tank anytime you want, okay, just by doing that. Okay. And if you're out offshore and you say dump your holding tank, good, it's empty now. You can either just pump up through and just let it drain out as you cruise, or alternately, you can do the following. You can take the right hand through hull, so the outlet of the head, and if you change the, okay, there it is, and if you point the valve over the other direction, okay, you can now see I got a circuit. I come out of the head, I come up, I go over in that direction, and those two handles are connected together, so they connect down there, and I'm direct. So I'm now pumping direct overboard. Okay, so I'm in Bedore Lakes, no discharge zone, so I keep the thing like that into my holding tank, and the holding tank is shut off. Okay, I'll gravity drain when I leave the lakes, and I can gravity drain all I want in ocean water here in Canada. So there's that, and I think that's actually kind of a clever system. It's really easy to use. Just flick those valves and do whatever you want with them. So that's the head, and that's the sink, and the connection between them, and the valves and that.